Calloused hands, hand-me-downs, and crocheted baby bonnets. Here and do the old ones just fine. Work truck sitting still in the drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's the Tone Tailors podcast, and this week we are joined by another incredible guest, an artist who has been making a name for herself, not only in this state, but just pretty much nationwide. This week we are talking to none other than Aubrey Nicole. Please give a thumbs up down below, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this episode, and tune in as I'm about to do to learn everything about Miss Aubrey Nicole. How are we doing this morning, girl?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, thank you for your time. A bit of a ways to lock you down thanks to this schedule you've got going on. So we're gonna get into it here. But let's go back to the beginning. I want to know when the music bug bit you. Was this a recent discovery? Have you been singing since you were 2? What's the vibe?
I have been singing for as long as I can remember. I know that sounds so cheesy, but I don't think there was ever a point in my life where I was like, oh, I want to do music. Like, it has always just been what I knew I wanted to do.
Yeah. And so when was there a certain age or time or happening in your life that it was like, okay, this is serious now. This is what we're gonna kind of put all of our eggs in the basket for?
I definitely, I feel like probably when I'd always known that it was what I wanted to do, but I feel like I got super serious about it when I went to college. Like, I knew I was like, okay, I'm going to go to school for music. Like, I have this plan. Like, I want to be a singer, but I was just a high school student. Like, I come from a very small family, a small town. I live in Littlestown, Pennsylvania. So I had no connection, and I was like, let's move to Nashville. But as soon as I got to college, I immediately I was like, oh, this is where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And I started immediately hitting the ground running as quick as I could. I mean, of course, slow and steady because I knew nobody here.
Right.
But I was lucky enough to get connected with some really great people, and I started writing, actually writing songs instead of just writing and fun stuff like that. But I started taking it really seriously, and yeah.
Okay. So and what year did you start college? When was this?
2023.
Okay. So
Fall of 2023.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's you mentioned Nashville, and it's like this, what is it about this magical city that every country, if you don't write a song in Nashville, are you considered a country artist? Because I think that might be one of the limitations there. What is it about that city, that bug that just bites you and boop, that's it. This is where you go if you're a country artist. It's a very interesting kind of, obviously country artists are everywhere in the country, but it's we're all going to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I've never been asked that before. I think the biggest part is the history. When I first came to Nashville, it was just to audition for Belmont, which is where I go to college. And I didn't know a lot about it. I knew it was the country music capital of the world. I was like, well, I should probably go there.
Yeah.
But I really I was just dead set on coming here. I really didn't know much about it. And so, I spent time in the hotel, and then I went to my audition, and then my parents, they were like, oh my gosh, there's tickets for the Grand Ole Opry. Let's go to the Grand Ole Opry. And I was like, I forgot that that's literally here. Of course, I grew up listening, there's WSM, it's the radio, it's online, it's everything. And of course, I've seen videos of the Grand Ole Opry my whole life, because that's that's every country singer's dream.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the first time where it hit me. I was like, oh, Nashville. It's just very cool. There's the Ryman, which was the original Opry.
Yeah.
Then there's a Grand Ole Opry house, and there's so much history here. And I didn't even know that much about it until I really came, started going to Belmont and stuff like that. But this is the craziest, funniest story. And I don't think I've ever talked about it on an interview, but I was waiting in line for the CMAs. There's this it's called Audience 615, and you can just apply yourself, and you could get a chance to for a seat filler ticket. So you go and you fill in other people's seats. But it was my second year going there, and I was at a point in my life where I was there's so many decisions I feel like I need to make. Like it was I was just really overwhelmed, and I kept praying. I was like, God, like I need a sign from you that some path needs to open, because I feel like there's like 800 different doors. I don't know which one to pick. So I'm standing there, and I'm running late, and I'm like so upset, and I'm like texting my parents. I'm like, I'm here safe. And this guy in front of me turns around, and he's like, this is really weird, but like, I feel like I need to tell you something. Like, whatever, you're like stressed out about, he's like, just follow this. And I was like, what? What?
Crazy
It was
people were
so
talking to
crazy.
me. Right. Yeah.
But turns out he's a historian. And so while we're waiting in line to go inside, he's telling me all this stuff about Nashville, and he's telling me these documentaries I need to watch, like all of like these places around town that I like absolutely need to go visit for inspiration. And of course, like in this moment, I was already like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Right.
But like, it was so crazy, because it was the first time someone actually stood and talked to me about the history of Nashville.
Wow.
And like how cool and deep and important it is. And I don't know, that was just like, it was a really crazy moment for me. But I think that's what really makes Nashville so special.
Yeah.
It's really the history that surrounds it. And so I think that's just, country music is really rooted in tradition. So I think that's like why this has become such a hot spot for musicians.
Right.
And of course, like, Broadway was made, every single bar, every single floor of every single bar is a different band playing.
Right.
So I think over time, that tradition and that history has really made it cool.
Yeah, I think there's there's something to be said about that. Did you get the CMA tickets? Did you get the
I
filler
did.
seats?
Well, actually,
okay.
you get them before. I was just waiting in line to literally go inside. But it was so cold. And my Uber took a wrong turn. I was running late. I was so upset. So it was totally like by chance that I was in line with this guy. And then afterwards I was like, okay, well, Jesus, clearly I needed to be late. Thank you.
Yeah. It's such you look at those happen, those situations happen all the time. And it's like you sit, and then afterwards you're like, what if I would have, like, butterfly effect? Like, how did we end up here? Like, you hear a song on the radio and then it's playing in the car. It's just, it's a very, wow. Okay. So dominoes just falling in line for you. And so I'm sorry, are you still in school now?
Yes, I'm gonna be senior this year.
So you're okay. So, and we haven't even gotten to the meat of it yet, but so we're doing all of this and you're going to class. Okay. Wow.
Full
So
credits. I'm taking 19 credits this semester. I'm terrified.
crazy girl. Okay. What are you taking there at Belmont? Like, what's the?
Yeah. So this actually goes along with the story that I was talking about before. So I was originally a music major.
Okay.
And I really liked it, but I'm terrible at music theory. And my interests lie a little bit more, like, I'm very like school driven. Like, I try very hard in school, but my heart lies in being in Nashville and being able to work in Nashville. So like when when I had reached, oh gosh, it was my sophomore year, that story that I just told you.
Yeah.
And it was like, the CMAs are in November. So it was in November. And I was really in a spot where I was like, I don't think this major is right for me. That was like the biggest thing that I was asking about. So I was thinking about switching from our music college to our music business college, which is called Curb College. And a guy named Mike Curb started it. Well, the guy that I met, the historian, best friends with Mike Curb. It was crazy. But so I eventually, funny enough, that same semester, it was the same day I auditioned for The Voice. I auditioned for this, like the virtual bingo hall for The Voice, not actually my blind audition, because it wouldn't be at Nashville. But I had auditioned for a spot in our like school's televised Christmas special.
Okay.
And then I ended up getting it. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to stay in this for a couple more minutes.
Right.
Then I got on The Voice, and I realized, I was like, okay, it's time. Like, I need to switch my major over to the music business college. So I'm a songwriting student, which totally sounds like a fake major.
Right.
But it is the coolest. Like, Belmont is such an interesting place. It's like Camp Rock. Like, it is. If any school just in Nashville, there's a couple other really great schools too that teach this.
Yeah.
But if there was a school to prepare you for like the most unstable career in the best, most stable way possible, it's Belmont. Like, it's seriously, I did not even know. I knew nothing about the music business before I came to school. I didn't even know your job could be songwriting.
Right.
Like, I had no clue. I thought you were just like singer. And I know that probably sounds so like,
it's this new world of like the Benny Blancos
Yes.
kind of like situation. Like, like you can just go write. Like, you don't actually have to sing the songs. And the jobs. I would argue though that my college might have been a little worse of preparing us for jobs that we weren't at. And my college doesn't exist anymore. It's the Art Institute of York, and so they were out. We were in a little legal snafu a few years ago, so we'll kind of let that where it is. But it's and especially now with AI, which we'll get into in a minute. But and you'd also mentioned, are we excited for the next Camp Rock movie? Is that
you're doing a new one?
Oh yeah, girl. Where
Are
have
you
you
serious?
been? Oh, Jonas Brothers are back.
Well, then I'm so excited.
Oh
I'm so
yeah,
excited.
back to
That's
camp,
awesome.
a whole new cast, whole new little
wow.
story. Yeah.
That's super. I had no idea.
Well,
that's
You
awesome.
heard it here first on the Tone Tailors podcast. This is
There we
This is
go.
what we do. No, so okay, wow. So songwriting, Nashville. So talk to me about the lead up to The Voice. Now, I have a kind of slight history. I don't know if it's still the same now, but I myself have auditioned for America's Got Talent a few times in the past.
Yeah.
I'm sure things have changed a little bit in the industry, but was this just you applying online and going? Did someone tap you? How did you get in?
Yeah, so you definitely can get like in either way.
Yeah.
Me, I literally just submitted a video online.
Okay.
If you go to like the Voice official website, there's like the open calls. I seriously, this is another crazy story. My mom had sent me the link, and I had auditioned before, and I was like, oh, like I don't know, like I have that Christmas at Belmont audition coming up, and I was like, oh, like, maybe I should like spend that hour practicing for that audition instead. And I was like, it's 90 seconds.
Yep.
Like, I'll just sign up. My phone was at like, I want to say like a little less than 10%. So I was like, if my phone stays alive long enough past my last class today, like I'll send in my tape.
Love it.
And I sent it in, and that was basically it. But I know it's different. Like, it's definitely different because I know that they have like scouts and stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure you can get like asked to come join the show.
Yeah.
I was not asked.
Yeah.
But
my experience was this is, I think, the very beginning of the online submission, so everything was still very much in person.
yeah.
But it was I used to do magic, so I was going there to perform
wow.
magic. Yeah, it was it's a fun time in my life.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and it was at this upstate New York college, old rundown college that wasn't being used, and we stood in line for 3 hours, waited in the cafeteria for another 3, and then they took us back in groups of 20, and it was like we would do our act in basically a classroom, and it was and it was just like this 22-year-old who is a part of the team, and if they thought you were good enough, well, then you had to go do it like 3 or 4 more times, and then maybe you would get picked to be on the show. And so I obviously never made it past the classroom amongst the millions of other kids and people. But it was still a fun experience. And then afterwards, I talked to some other people in the magic industry, and they're like, yeah, they just like contacted me through YouTube, and I'm like, what? Like, where have I been? I waited in line, whatever. It's fine, but it's still a fun experience. So you've made it past probably what 99.9% of people have auditioned for. So you send in the tape, and then what you get an email back, and then is it right into what we see on TV? Is there behind the scenes?
There's definitely like I think it's different for like everybody, just depending on like what they got from your initial, like your either like your tape or like maybe if they scouted you, I don't even know.
Okay.
But I think that was November, and then I got the call in the spring saying that they were interested in having me. Like, I got an initial email being like, "Oh, we're interested in you. Like, here's some other things you need to do." And
Right.
then I had gotten a call in the spring being
Okay.
like, "We would want you to
It took a
fly
minute.
out
It
to
took like
California
3 or
and
4 or 5
potentially do your
months.
audition." Yeah. Yep. So it was I knew for a while. And I remember I was having to keep that secret for so long, and then still having to keep it secret, like past the blind audition, past all the pre-recorded things. It was driving me crazy.
Oh, right. Because you have to, the reality aspect of it all. You're done filming and you can't just go home and say, you'll never believe who I just sang with. Wow. Oh, yeah, that's gotta be, oh, man, were you just like walking on the clouds until that episode aired? Because I'd imagine it all was just quick and fast, and then boop, you're done, and it's like, wait, now I can't talk about it for like 6 to 8 months until it actually comes out.
Yeah, it was definitely the thing that was convenient is that, like, as I kept advancing, like, I was just still working on it.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time that and, of course, like, it went into air. It aired September 22nd, like, the start of the blinds, and I think we could announce in, like, August that we were on the show.
That's basically a whole year. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was in school.
Yeah.
In between one of the rounds, I flew home, packed up all of my stuff, drove to Belmont, unpacked all of my stuff, moved in, and then literally less than 24 hours later, I was on a flight back to California. And then, the biggest problem was that my professors, like, I had to be like, listen, I'm on this show. Obviously, I can't say which one, but like, I'm going to be out of school. I don't know for how long. I had to like calculate and tell them how many classes that I'd be missing. And of course, like, I had to like convince them that they could let me join by Zoom because they were like, like, you're just gonna have to do alternate assignments and like take the attendance, like. And I was like, no, girl. I was like, I promise you, if you put me on that Zoom, I will talk more than the kids in class. Like, I promise.
Right.
There was this one time, my one teacher, she wasn't like fully on with the Zoom thing. And I was like, please, can we just try it once? And then after that first Zoom, she was like, okay, like, you can just join by Zoom. So that was good. I didn't like miss a ton of school.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, like, I took the least amount of credits that I could possibly take just for like, so I wasn't losing my ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
But then I calculated everything for if I was going to make it like up to before the finale, and they knew I was coming back that week, and then I had to email them and be like, listen, I'm gonna be going for finals the
Change of
whole last month of school. I'm
Wow,
also gonna
right.
be gone.
Yeah. I mean, is
Which
that
is nice?
I was gonna say, is that a point where we kind of have to call the dean and be like, listen, here's what's happening. We're in the semifinal. Like, we gotta.
Yeah. No, they were definitely, I think since Belmont is probably so used to having like kids go on these shows, like they were I didn't really, there was one class I had to drop, but it was just because they did a majority of their stuff in person. Like, it was like hands-on. So that was fine. But I just swapped it with a gen ed.
Yeah.
But they were all actually really excited.
Good.
So like, it was fine. All of my teachers like watched my like episodes and stuff like that. They would send me videos of like their kids watching and cheering me on. Like, I was so like lucky during that time to have the teachers that I did, because they made it so easy for me. But I'm a major tryhard. So like I was emailing as soon as I knew what was going on, I would email them like overly prepared so they just didn't have to worry about it.
Good.
So I think that's another thing. And also, like, we were, of course, like, set days were really busy, but like most of the time, like, I was free during the day, or like if I had something, it would only be a couple hours.
Right.
So it was pretty convenient. I think like the biggest load itself is literally just waiting in your hotel, being like, oh my gosh, like.
Right. For your set time. Yeah. Well, I can imagine. I mean, good for you. I think it's a situation where like not everybody else, but I would assume a high majority of people who would have been in that exact situation would have just dropped out of college and been like, yo, this is going to be it. Like, I might not win this thing, but if I'm headed towards the semifinals, we're definitely getting something as far as
Yeah.
recognition or the following or the social or the record deal, whatever that is. It's so to kind of stick through it, good for you. I think coming out on the other end with your degree
Oh, thank you.
is key. Yeah. Um, so okay, so you're on The Voice, you do your blind audition. I have to be honest, I don't watch the show frequently.
Oh, that's
My
okay.
mom does. Shout out Sandy, thanks for watching. And she loves country and all this. She knows I'm talking to you today, so she's ecstatic. So what happens? You go on, you sing a song and the judges are turned around. They don't see you, so it's all audible. And whoever turns around gets to choose you for their team, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And who were your judges at the time?
Yeah, so we had, I'm trying to think in like the order of how they were in the chairs. So we had Snoop Dogg.
Nice.
Then I know, it was so cool. Then we had Niall Horan from One Direction.
Huh?
Who's now has an awesome solo career. Reba McEntire,
Yep.
and then Michael Bublé.
Yep. So 4 killers in the music industry, none need to say. Did you get to meet Snoop Dogg? Was that it?
And actually, even so, with my like blind audition, I was so scared because I was like, what if I don't even like, I mean, singing in front of these people pay thousands to so much as be in the same room as these people. So
Correct.
like getting the chance to even just sing in front of them is insane.
Sandy.
But I was like, man, like I hope they actually, even if I don't make it through, like I hope they like talk to me, or like I, just get to see them. Like I didn't even know if they turned around afterwards. Like I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. They talked to you, every single person, no matter what the outcome was, they talked to them for like 5 minutes.
Hell yeah.
They,
So
I, of course, like, I don't know how it is with like every season with the coaches, but like my season, every single coach was so nice to every single one of us. Like, of course, like I was closest with Reba because she was my coach,
Yep.
but like Snoop Dogg, he had my back the whole time. He is an awesome guy. I
cool.
didn't know much about him before the show. I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's so funny. He is so smart,
Ah,
and he's so dedicated to everything that he does. Like he's an awesome guy.
all right.
And he gave me a tissue at my blind audition, so I was like, we're gonna be best friends.
I'm not going to pull the favor now. I'll let our relationship kind of mature a little bit, but one of these days I'm going to tap on you and say, I need that DM. I need an email or something
Oh my gosh, I
need
wish.
the intro to Snoop Dogg. Okay. So who turned around for you? Reba? Anyone else?
Nope, just Reba.
Just Reba. Okay. Well, I
Yep.
mean, that makes sense. I'm assuming, what song did you sing?
I sang Burning House by Cam.
Okay.
It's kind of like a lesser known song, but it was
Yeah.
really popular the year that it came out. It's beautiful. It's the day of my blind audition, and I don't know if I'm more excited or more nervous. I've been waiting for this for so long. Sorry, I'm not trying to get emotional already. Oh my gosh. Just my whole life, this is what I wanted. And like, I've grown up watching the show, and I know I'm only 19, but like, I made it on The Voice. Like, oh my gosh. Teams are filling up, and there's only a few spots left. I'm pretty nervous. The stakes are definitely higher.
I'm trying to take what's lost and broke and make it right. I've been sleepwalking too close to the fire, but it's the only place that I can hold you tight.
Sound penetrates walls. And boy, it went through this chair and hit my heart. You've got that gift. Sing and portray that feeling to another person that needs it.
Now I can say I got a tissue from Snoop Dogg. I love that song. But the other coaches were so nice to me. But as soon as Reba turned around, you can see in like the clips of my blind audition, as soon as Reba turned around, started crying. Like they all, when they turned around, they were like, we heard the way you reacted when she turned around. We knew we had not a chance in the world.
No, I would have been.
It's so funny.
My emotions would have been all over the place. Yeah, that's.
I was so excited because she was she is like one of my absolute biggest inspirations. I grew up watching her show, obviously listening to her songs and everything like that. But like, I loved musical theater growing up too. And for the longest time, I was like, gosh, like, I don't know the connection between like my two biggest loves of music, like musical theater and country, which I don't know how I didn't see that because obviously it's storytelling. But like, I had no clue. And I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see Reba and Annie Get Your Gun on Broadway. And I was like, if I didn't love her now, I love her even more.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? So I was just like, and I originally did not get into Belmont. I did not get into the program that I went. I got accepted academically, so I could like still go.
Right.
But like, I was devastated. I didn't get into my dream school, in my dream program, which ended up not being my dream program. And then the other program I auditioned for and got into, I ended up switching out of anyways. So, but I auditioned with one of her songs, and that's my second time, and that got me in.
Okay, so for the second time now in your life in Nashville, there's been another set of random coincidences.
Yes, my life is so coincidental.
Yes, I think that the main thing we can take away from is if there is ever, whether you're just walking down the street or someone calls or emails you, if there's ever an audition somewhere, I think you just need to go. I think you.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well,
like, when I auditioned for the initial voice, and then also the Christmas at Belmont thing, I was so sick. I don't know what I had. I don't know if I had like some terrible sinus infection, but like I seriously was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I was like, well, the only thing I can do is just show up. If they think I sound bad, I'll just try again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got both.
Right.
It was a magical day.
Yeah, you kind of almost, and then like you're like, now I got to be sick for all my shows because I sound better, obviously. Like,
obviously,
right? Like, let me get a cold quick.
And also this. Oh my gosh, what's today? Okay, we're not a week away. This Saturday, it'll be a week before I'm opening up for the band Perry, Stell, Lefty, and Permalee back home at the York Fair.
Okay.
Next Saturday, the 25th.
Nice.
But my very first song I ever sang in public was a band Perry song. And it's on the same stage I saw my first concert.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you and these silly coincidences. No, there's no more. Now you're just making them up, I think. I'm on to you.
I know. It's so funny. I'm genuinely, it's so cool. I'm really grateful.
I'm envisioning it as you describe it, and it's a situation. Yeah. Okay. So Reba turns around. Now you're on her team for presumably the rest of the show, and let's fast forward to this duet that you get to do with her. I mean, was that just a dream come true? Like, talk to me about that.
So I had found out what our song was going to be, and I was already like completely like blown away. I absolutely love Mary. Did you know? I grew up Catholic. I went to Sacred Heart in and it's in Conewago Township, but like Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I don't remember what town. I think it's in Hanover. It's in Hanover. But I love that song. It's my favorite Christmas song. And I was singing it with Reba McEntire. Oh my gosh. Like, I was so clearly I have a thing for Christmas specials. Like, I obviously need to find one for this year because it's just becoming a recurring theme.
Well, I have a habit of every year of releasing a mediocre Christmas song. They keep getting better every year.
It's awesome.
So maybe
I'll have to check them out.
Maybe this year. The first one's terrible and it was just a joke. The second one, there was more time on it. I'll send it to you later. But
yes, please. I would love to listen.
AI was involved a little bit, but it's fine. Still my voice. At the end of the day, listen, man, I think, wow. I could probably name like 10, let alone female, let alone country artists from Central PA right now who would just give probably their left leg to do a duet or anything that you have done remotely close with Reba McEntire. So, and it's like, now you have that connection now. Like, I'm sure you probably got an email address or something if you need. Wow. Okay. And so you made it to the semifinals. How is America voting at that point? I'm assuming, is that how it works?
For our season? So it's kind of, every season is different. For
Okay.
my season, the voting was only in the finale.
Okay.
Yes. So that was like the coaches decided everything else.
Okay. I see. Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. And so then how many other people were there?
There was 6 of us in the finale.
Okay. So you were in the finale, and at the end of this episode, one of you walks away. Okay. And unfortunately we didn't make it, correct? That's where do we end up on the final list?
I was 4th. I was
Fourth
in the
place.
finale.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. 4th place. Wow.
Yeah, we started out with the way that our finale worked, we had the like, what's it called? Our like semi-finale was the playoffs.
Mhm.
So in the playoffs there was 4 of us left on each team and one of us was chosen to advance from the finale on each team.
Got
So
it.
I was part of the original 4 and then 2 other like acts out of I think it was like grouped by episode. So I think I don't remember. I think it was like Snoop and Niall were on one episode and then Bublé and Reba were on the other one. So one extra person from each episode got voted back into the finale.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Cool. And is that what does 4th place get you? You get like a brand new car or something? Like what's
No. I really the places in the finale, in my opinion, like you don't get any other extra prize other than like if you win. And I did not want to win.
Okay.
So they could have told me I was disqualified and I would have been very happy just because I wanted to come back to Nashville and start working on my own thing. You know what I mean?
I've heard that. I have heard that it's better to be like 2nd, 3rd, 4th place on these shows because if you're first, then you got to do a whole press run. Then you got to do this and this and this and this and that and that. And you essentially have a PR and a management team. And like for
Yes.
someone like you who just like is teachers are begging to come back to class. Like, let's just,
Yes.
I can't imagine they'd be too thrilled with your interview process
Yeah.
after fact. Okay.
No, but I had already like, especially I already had stuff lined up for after the finale. Like I had a single come out a little bit over a week
Smart.
after the finale. So I was like,
Smart.
if I win, I'm gonna have to take that down. I'm gonna have to change all my plans. And which I mean, ultimately, The Voice winning, awesome. Like that is a great thing. It's just not like I don't know, obviously, because we didn't know any of the details about it. But
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to be based in LA because I
Mhm.
love Nashville, and I don't know if you would have to work with LA people. But like in my brain, I was just like, being in the finale is literally the exact same as winning in my opinion. I mean, of course, without like all of the added extra stuff, but like I was just happy to be there. I was so excited.
Yeah. No, I think that's I think that's right where you needed to be. So has anything happened or come about I mean, do you have a management
yeah.
now or how has your kind of music career changed from what I'm assuming were you just kind of independent before, recording on your own when and where you could, and now talk about that.
Yeah, so basically, The Voice has totally taken like, the best way to describe it, it was like, "Oh, like, I want to be a singer," to like, "Oh, this is my job."
Yeah.
Like, I am a singer now.
Yeah.
It has totally opened up so many doors, and it's also, like, the show just even so much as, like, being the smallest part of it is, like, an education you can't buy. Like, I learned so much while I was on there. So many, like, really, really great, like, lessons, not only just about music, but, like, my life in general and, like, what about my personality and, like, my vibe is marketable, but also real and authentic, you know what I mean? Like, they teach you in a wonderful way, and of course, they don't sit you down and actually teach you this, but, like, they're so good at, like, I don't even wanna say, like, casting you,
Yeah.
but, like, showing you in some specific ways your qualities that are noticeable and, you know,
They amplify it
should
kind of.
express.
Right.
But it's not something that, like, they cast you as, like, "Oh, well, Aubrey lives on a farm and she sings country music. Let's put her in this." Like, they 100% took my personality and just kind of helped me show, like, what I should be showing in my music and when I
Mm.
perform. So, it was a really, really cool lesson.
I can, right. I think you nailed it there. An education no one can buy. It's kind of like winning a lottery ticket. Yeah. Um, and so you, after the show, and I think you might have mentioned it there, the connections and friends you've made, so much along the lines of, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a single out, a duet with one of your
Yes.
castmates?
Yeah, Makenzie Phipps, she was on Team Snoop. She and I, before the blind auditions, we were so nervous
Mm.
and we needed something to like take our minds off of everything. And she was like, "Well, I've been writing this song. Like, you and I should sit together and write," because she had never written with anyone else before. Like, she'd never done a co-write with anyone except for her husband.
Mm.
So I was like, goodness. Me?
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And we sat down and we wrote that song and immediately we were like, oh, we love this. And originally I wrote it for her. Like, I did not think I was going to be a part of it whatsoever. Like, and then we get back. Of course, like when we were practicing it and stuff like that, like we were just singing together, having fun. So like we sang it as a duet, but like we weren't necessarily planning it to be a duet. And then she called me up a couple months later and she's like, "Hey, like my producer's totally down. Like, let's make it a duet." And I was like,
Yep.
"Okay."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's a great song. It came out almost a week ago today. It came out last Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna might insert it here probably in the beginning
Oh, awesome.
and down below, description, all that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
So is it, I know you said that now your job is essentially a singer, before maybe just writing. What is that? Have you completely shifted to a singer, or do you think that maybe you'll end up as like a kind of Benny Blanco writing songs for your friend who then goes and does them, or just other people in
Yeah.
the industry? What's your kind of, are you gonna like 50-50 it probably maybe?
I'm more on the fence of the artist side of things. Like, I've always just been a singer, and then
Mhm.
I figured I was like, "Oh, I love songwriting."
Yeah.
And then it ended up so at Belmont, they can basically teach you, like, the songwriting major is either if you wanna be really good at writing songs for yourself, or also I mean, of course, to be good at writing for yourself, you have to be good at writing for other people too.
Right.
So it's like, whatever happens, I am totally excited for it, but I also writing a song for another person would be great. Like, I love writing. I think it's like it's so much fun for me. It's like candy.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's such a, I don't think we've talked to anyone who's kind of talked about that. Most of the people we've talked to are just, they write their songs, they record their songs, they're their songs, and that's the end of it. There's something to be said here, I think, especially with your story and just the stories of the past when it comes to Central Pennsylvania and the music scene. I mean, we've got countless bands and artists, and just, I mean, along your lines, I mean, just, I think the most noticeable one is Taylor Swift. I mean, is that just kind of a path you're following? I mean, I'm assuming we look up to her in a way.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I mean, you're I mean, not trying to, put you and where you don't need to be, but
Oh,
you're on the right path.
oh,
This is
thank
all I'm
you.
saying. I mean, you're kind of, you're
Thank you.
following in those steps. So it's there's multiple levels of synchronicity between you and Swift. So it's like, it's such a hotbed, Central Pennsylvania, Sabrina
Oh, yeah.
Carpenter, Hailstorm. I mean, it's where do you see that in the industry at all? Were there other people from PA on the show, or what's your kind of vibe there?
There weren't there weren't a lot of other people from Pennsylvania, but funny enough, there were, one of the other contestants. So I live right on the line of Pennsylvania and Maryland. Like, I'm not even we live on a farm, and a part of our farm literally has, like, the original linings of, like, the markers
Oh, cool.
of the line. Um, but, we're close to Frederick, obviously. One of the other contestants, Mindy Miller, she grew up in Frederick. So, like, that was funny. But I feel like our area is such, like, it's very interesting because it's very vast. Like, the area that I live in, like, near Gettysburg,
Yep.
we're in, like, basically the Appalachian Mountain Range, and
Yep.
that's where my family comes from. So, like, I'm used to a lot of, like, bluegrass and, like,
Right.
country music, obviously.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I mean, Hailstorm, Sabrina Carpenter, she's not from Central Pennsylvania, but I mean, she's from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
She's from Quakertown.
Gotcha.
But like, it's so crazy because there's a lot of like, I feel like there's a lot of people who do rock in Pennsylvania. Like, I feel like you're either country or you're rock, and of course, a whole bunch of other genres in between. But I feel like those are the two that I've seen the most of in PA. But it's so funny to like see. I don't know, like our area is just so cool.
Yeah.
There's so many different things going on.
Yeah, I think too, even in the minusculest of it, you had mentioned you're going to be opening at the York Fair. I think I know people who've been trying to get on the stage at York Fair for the last 20 years, and it's just an impossible task. So it's the central PA, Pennsylvania as a whole is such a very interesting melting pot of music and artist and just the range. So is that what's your kind of in the world of 2026? There's so many different types of different genres. Are you more of like a newer country? Are you putting some of that original bluegrass into your kind of music? What's the vibe there?
I'm definitely more of like I've been trying to think about that a lot recently because the subgenres of country are just like totally expanding, and also 90s country is coming back 100%. Like it is just becoming there's so many new artists that I see like that are rising in Nashville. Like it's kind of described as like graduating classes of people who've been like working, then they're starting to make it. This next class, like think like Zach Top, Emily Ann Roberts, May Estes, like they're all very much so rooted in like their music isn't exactly Zach Top is and May Estes are a little more on like the very much so like traditional or 90s kind of country, like the roots of country. I would say Emily Ann, she's very rooted in it, but she has like that cool modern, I love her. She has a very cool modern twist to her songs. And Ella Langley too. Her new album, obviously it's pop country, but like she's got a lot of good influence in there. Like I think we're coming back to the roots of country a little bit. Like for a while it kind of strayed, and then like pop country was mainstream country, but I think we're taking a little bit of a step back. So I've been really thinking about recently, like, where do I fit in there? Because like when I write, it's definitely more on the like Emily and Massa side. Like I feel like if I could describe myself as a genre, it'd be like wholesome country. Like think like Carrie Underwood, Cody Johnson, Emily Ann Roberts, like stuff like that. That's very like rooted. But I do feel like there's my producer. He is definitely like so good at pop country. So I'm glad that we work together because he adds a great like in instrumentals and stuff like that. He adds a wonderful like pop side of things that makes it like just a perfect mix of like my roots and what's commercial. So yeah.
That's awesome. How do you feel? I've been dying to ask someone on the country side of this because I only talk to rock stars and pop artists. But how do you feel? What's your personal opinion on when someone like Post Malone gives us congratulations and his rap album, and now we've got boots on the ground with Kenny Chesney and Blake Shelton, and just a complete shift of his entire library to the point where I'm sure probably haven't been to a Post Malone concert recently, but I have. It's okay. I'll let you know. All of his old rap songs now, when he's performing, have that country twang, like
That's
kind
cool.
of to it. So it's very cool, and we very much still enjoy it. But I'm curious your thoughts on the whole genres. What like is the country world, is the country scene accepted someone like Post Malone into it? Are we okay with him being there?
I definitely think specifically for like Post Malone too, he did it in the smartest and most respectful way possible. Like I would argue country music is very like a lot of people view it as like, you know, like unintelligent. I just wrote a paper about this. I'm very nerdy about this topic, but like a lot of people view it as like Unintelligent and like Shallow, because like there's songs like what's that Luke Bryan
I get my
song that
gun,
everyone's
my
making
car,
fun of?
my truck. I lose my
Yes.
dog. I lose my wife. I lose it
And
all.
mind you, that is the stuff that gets popular because country music is really geared towards the blue collar crowd. And that stuff, that's what people grew up with. That's what, I mean, that was, that's my family.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I love it.
Yep.
Is that what country music is rooted in? No. But I mean, I don't 100% dislike it. I'm not in love with it because I know I can like there's some songs that I'll listen to and I'll be like, oh, that's what people who don't like country music think country music only is. But for Post Malone, I really love the way that he did it. He made an album like coming in. Oh, wait a minute. I totally forgot my point from before. People think that country music is like shallow and kind of unintelligent, but like they're a little like it's a little snooty. Like you need to respect the tradition that comes behind it and the history behind it in order to be like fully accepted, I almost feel like. And he did that perfectly. Like he released an album with all of these different country artists, very respectful album. I had still not listened to it though when I went to the CMAs and I was like, Post Malone. Like, what is he doing here? And why is he singing a tribute to Joe Diffie? Like what? I was floored. That is one of the coolest performances I have ever. He killed it.
Yep.
And of course, oh my gosh, it was so cool. I was right behind. So there's like two stages. There's the big stage up front and then there's a little stage. I was right front row at that little stage. And I could see him so close. And I was like, there's no way that Post Malone is singing, I think he's saying John Deere Green to me right now. Like that's crazy. But he killed it.
Yep.
He killed it. He was great.
I mean,
like, I am not one to like, when I heard that Beyonce was releasing a country album, I was like, okay, like I'll give some.
But that Levi Jeans track with Post Malone though is pretty.
I know that is like a total flip flop to the other side. So I was like, oh, I think it's great. I think it's definitely like his music is definitely more like on the pop country side. Like he and Jelly Roll are like very similar. Yeah. I don't listen to a lot of that music, but I don't listen to a lot of new country anyway. So like that's. That's not his fault. Yeah. But I love the song that he released with Blake Shelton. I think that's a great song. Yep. Like that's the first one I can think of off the top of my head. But I think he's a very, very, very smart individual. Yeah. And Taylor did a great job switching from country to pop too. Yeah. Like she did that in a very, very tasteful way because I still felt like that first, what was that? She went from Red was her last like country album, right? And then 1989 was all pop.
Yes, I believe. Yes, I
remember 1989 was like the last one that I like religiously listened to as a kid. But like I even feel like Red was like the perfect mix between like country and we're going a little more pop and then boom, 1989 and it was just wonderful.
Well, we don't have any information on it yet, so I'm gonna need you to pull all of your Hollywood resources of the wedding. I want pictures. I want behind the scenes. You were invited, weren't you? I knew you were invited. You were there. You break that NDA, right? Wouldn't that be something?
I literally, oh my gosh, if I was invited to her wedding, I don't even think she would let me in because I'd be losing my mind.
So no, I think it's just an interesting time for music. I've talked to so many people about the Post Maloneification of the music industry and those who like were obsessed with his rap and hip hop career, like forget him. I don't listen to country. But I'm like, dude, bro's got like 18 platinum, double platinum tracks, whatever, like the number 3 songs in the entire world ever. And it's like, you can't deny that. What are we doing for gear? I'm obligated, thanks to our friends at Tailors, to talk about some gear. So I'm assuming, are you a guitar player as well?
So it's funny you say that. I'm terrible at guitar.
Okay.
I'm absolutely terrible at all instruments. I have a writer's round tomorrow night. I'm only playing one song.
Yep.
All week I've been practicing and preparing I was like, it's one song. Like I'll accompany myself. Mind you, I chose my hardest song to play, so I don't know why on earth I did that to myself. But I panicked yesterday, and I messaged him, and I was like, "Listen, I'm so sorry, I can't." But it's like it's a bigger event for them. Like if this was just like I'm singing one song in a writer's room, like on like a rooftop of a hotel.
Yeah, you got your.
If I screw it up, I screw it up.
Right.
If it sounds bad, it sounds bad.
Yeah.
However, they're breaking a Guinness World Record or setting a Guinness World Record. So I was like,
Yeah.
do I want to make them proud?
No.
And do I have to make this really good?
Yeah.
So there's 100 other writers.
Yes.
And we're all singing one song. I was like, I need to, if I want to stand out, I need to do my absolute best to stand out. And me playing a guitar is not that option.
Okay.
However, I have a guild. And it is actually, I think, 30 years old.
Okay.
But it's, wait, where is it? There it is. It's right next to me.
Beautiful. There it is. No, that's great. I love it.
But I can basically only play an open D confidently. Just because I focus so much on my voice when I sing, just because that's how I talk. So when I'm doing this and I'm not 100% at it yet,
voice, right?
I can't do my best.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if you are ever back in Pennsylvania for an extended period of time, our friends at Tone Tailors offer lessons. Go to Tone Tailors, guitar lessons, and they'll help you with those fingers to strum. You would maybe we'll put you in touch with our new friend Bridget. She's awesome. You two would get along. Yeah, she tried to teach me how to play a guitar for like 30 seconds, and my brain doesn't function with this.
So hard.
Yeah,
especially I can play piano.
Yeah.
I can play enough to write a song. Okay. That's like my extent. Like I can pick out the chords. Are the chords going to be pretty basic?
Yeah.
Yeah. But since I go to Belmont, people are literally guitar majors. Like, and everyone here, there's so many talented musicians. So like, why would, if I'm not feeling 100% confident, why would I not let someone who's dedicating their entire life have the chance to play a show?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And of course, I'm looking for my shows after this round of shows that I'm doing back in PA. I'm going to start trying to I'm going to start easing my way into doing it. So like I'll have an accompanist with me, but I'll be playing rhythm guitar too. Mm-hmm. That's been like my because I would love to be able to be like at least enough to like maybe play one song by myself. Yeah. Like I would love to do that. But my other thing is my pinky, it does not move. Like I can move it, but it's I like hit it my like freshman year of high school like terribly, and ever since then like this one's fine, but this one there's limited mobility, so it's just not fun.
That's all right. It's okay. You're a singer. Baby steps for the guitar. So okay, and then that's where that conversation ends, because anytime I get to the singers, I'm like, what gear do you use? They're like, a microphone. Yeah, a Shure microphone. So okay, well, yeah, I think that but that says a lot about you. You know your talents, you know your strengths. Baby steps into it, and once you get there, you'll get there. Are there dreams, goals, or aspirations to do another, like go back to The Voice or America's Got Talent? Are you done with the reality show, or is that kind of a bug you have?
I think I'm done with the reality shows, because like making it to the finale, why would I? I just don't feel the need to do another one. I mean, who knows, in a couple years from now, if things aren't moving any forward, they're great opportunities to get exposure.
Yeah, you'll be in line for ice cream, and the executive producer of America's Got Talent will probably be right in front of you and start talking about, you should
never know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably. But I'm open to it, but I'm not planning on it. Yeah. But other than that, I think I make little goals for myself. My next goal is to have my debut at the Grand Ole Opry. I sang at the Grand Ole Opry, but it wasn't like a technical debut. It was a separate event that was held at the Opry, but that is my next. Okay. That would be like a huge dream come true for me. Like I could literally, almost said that I could just die happy, but I did get to sing with Reba. So. But the Opry, that is like my next.
Yeah. Okay.
Looking towards.
Cool.
And I feel like out of like smaller goal, like not smaller goals, but like my little goals for like, let's say like the next 10 years, I feel like I would love to get signed by a label after a while.
Yep. Okay.
Just because the whole thing in Nashville is like stay as independent as you can for as long as you can.
Okay.
You can get the best deal. But who knows? I mean, whatever happens, I could get offered my dream deal and things could work out great, or I can not get offered it for. It's Emily Ann Roberts. She was on The Voice 10 years later. She did not sign until with Sony, I think, until it was last fall or early this year that she finally signed a record deal. And she talked about it. She was like, I waited until the time was right, and
So
now she's doing
until you're
great.
worth it, until you have a library, until you have a following. Because if you don't jump right in, they're just going to give you their freshman deal. But if you come to them with 3 million followers on Instagram, well, now we're talking dollar per follower kind of situation.
Yeah. Yes, that's kind of like I would love to get signed, and then after that, I think my like biggest dream, other than like having a debut at the Opry or being considered like asked to be an Opry member one day, I'd love to be on Opry, and it rhymes with my name, so I feel like I should just
Aubrey at the Opry. Hello, that should have happened yesterday. Hell yeah,
exactly.
It's so.
But I would love to be nominated for a CMA. I think that would be like my like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I don't have to win it. I literally just need to be nominated. That's the goal.
Nomination. And so, I mean, we've got a clear path forward here. I think you're not too far off. You've already, I think, knocked over the first 5 or 6 dominoes you need to get there.
My plan, get on one of those shows.
Yeah.
It is the easiest way to go from like at least point A to like point H.
Right. That takes out
very, very good way to get exposure. And I could not have been on it at a better time, because like I was right smack dab in the middle of college. So like I kind of knew what I was doing, but like I needed some shaping.
Yep.
Now I had, well, technically my whole last year, like my junior year, was spent with The Voice, but like now I still have the leverage of like, okay, there's still that safety net. Like I'm still in school. I can still go to a professor and ask like these questions in person. Like I don't have to like email them. You can talk to a Belmont professor for the rest of your life. They're wonderful.
Right.
But I think it's happened in the best possible way that I could have asked for. Right. So I'm really looking forward to
it's almost a blueprint, of such in a way. And you had mentioned, so very, very interesting you mentioned, because I had asked in the last episode of this podcast, we interviewed a youth band called Vinyl Rush, who I believe shared the stage with you at the CPMAs this year.
Yes, I remember their name.
Yes.
That sounds familiar.
Yep. They just fresh out of high school, couple 18, 19-year-old kids.
Wait a minute. Were they the ones in the suits?
That was I don't think Vinyl Rush performed. That was Ethan Cotillo and some of his friends. He's a wonder too. You should.
They're insane. Everyone who was there. It's crazy how much talent is in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Yeah. They were, so I asked them because of how young they were, and I asked them if the record deal was dead just because of this kind of era that we're in of like, cool, we'll sign you, but now we own your house, your left shoe, and your dog, and if you don't produce us 5 albums that get X amount of whatever, we're not funding the tour, we're not doing this, and then, by the way, you owe us that money back. So, like, the whole negative connotation of the record deal that has aspired over the years, curious that, like a band like theirs might not want or benefit from it, but someone like you is one of like your next 5 to 10 year goals.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like, I mean, I'm not super educated on it, but like, since I'm only myself, like I don't have a team or anything, like that is why when you get signed, you get a team.
Yep.
And you have a group of people who is, of course I can do as much as I can, but I can't do it all myself. Like, and that's the hard part, because also like, if you have like friends or family, you need to have an expert in the business guiding you in the business. And that's the really unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Like, it is, the music business is so ridiculous, for lack of a better term. Like, there's no right way to do anything. It changes every 5 seconds. Like, that's why with a record deal, it's almost like a good safety net
Mm.
of you have this team, they'll help guide you. But if you're a band and you're all in the business and you all can help each other out,
Right. Well, and that was their whole spiel. One of them takes Facebook, one of them takes Instagram, the other one handles
yeah,
scheduling, dad handles the emails. They're obviously still kind of new to the whole
but still,
doing shows and things, but yeah, it's that makes a lot of sense. And I wonder, is there though, not to deter you at all, but is there fear of like, you see these interviews with someone like Halsey or that, and it's like, yeah, my album was done like 3 years ago, and the record label just kind of shelved it, and I wasn't allowed to do shows or go on tour
yeah.
because of X, Y, and Z. Is that I'm assuming that's a real thing?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's a
Well,
fear.
it's called like getting shelved.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's like the technical term for it. But yeah, that's why people say stay as independent as you can for as long as you can. Because if you start out and you're not really going anywhere, they're not going to
Your
release it.
first album's going to be hot because you're new on the scene, but as soon as sophomore album comes around, it's like, yeah, okay, we didn't really know who she was, and like, there's
Exactly.
interesting.
That's why what Emily Ann did
Interesting.
was so smart
Yeah.
because she built up so much. She and her husband, Chris Sasser, and they both have these really popular pages on social media.
Yep.
So people love them because they don't just hear her music.
Smart.
Some people, they were like, oh my gosh, that sweet little, the Yeehaw Meemaw can sing too. Like, and she sounds that good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the plus side and the downside of social media.
Mhm.
It's like, it can really, really, really boost your career, especially if you're authentic.
Yeah.
And you're good at being authentic,
Yep.
which sounds like it defeats the purpose. But like, there's, if you have people who are really interested in you, maybe not even your music, and they just want to meet you because they watch your videos every day, you're golden. That's why, and she's done such a good job at that, especially she got her following from The Voice. Then she starts posting every single day. Her husband starts posting every single day, and they post like home improvement stuff and gardening and like oh my gosh, knitting. They're
Yep.
knitting?
Yep.
Yeah, yarning,
Knitting, sewing, yarning,
crocheting.
whatever.
There we go, yeah.
Crocheting, yeah. One of those things.
And it's so smart because these people love them and they bring her crocheted stuff at her shows. Like, and of course, her songs, undeniably amazing. She came to Belmont my freshman year. It was the first time I had heard her in person because, like, I knew who she was. I watched her on The Voice when I was younger.
Mm.
But, like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Emily Ann Roberts. She's sang at The Building, which is my favorite song by her. Her pianist graduated from the music college at Belmont and received an award. So she brought Emily in to sing the song. It was just she and the piano. And I was like, it was one of the coolest and best performances I'd ever heard. And then I started like really looking into her and what she's done. And she's
Yep.
just so smart because she has built up this following, an undeniable following, because they've been her followers for like 10 years. Like, they love her. And how could you not? Like, she's adorable.
And if you just never forget that is, even though you see that as your Emily friend, colleague, whoever, someone you look up to, that is how you're supposed to do social media. And this is something that I'm trying to get across to all my artists and bands that we interview here is like, you need to be putting out 5 to 10 pieces of content a day. And like, not just your music or your art, but if you're going on a podcast or you're just strumming on your guitar or you're knitting or you're cooking or you're gardening, that's what builds the audience because
Yes.
it breaks down that wall. It shows you as a human being and not like, oh, it's Taylor Swift. It's Aubrey. She's on The Voice. Like, look at this celebrity. How am I supposed to relate to this celebrity when now I can't because you have the same hobbies as me or the same interests. People were bringing her knitted things to the shows, and it's the Taylor Swift bracelet. You know my cat's name. Here's everything about me and my songs. So now we can relate on that emotional and kind of that level is key. And I try to tell my clients this all the time, especially even just not even music related, like I have a
Yeah.
construction client or a landscaper or the Carlisle YMCA or whoever it may be. And I'm like, yes, guys, 70% of what you post needs to promote your services, promote what you do, promote the sale you have going on. Look at this lawn we just mowed. But the other 30%, you guys need to be on the stories with your face. Hey guys, we're heading out. We're getting lunch today. We love a Sheetz hot dog. Tell me what you get for lunch on your lunch break. And then we're back to it. And then the next clip is them mowing grass. That's it. That's the blueprint. That's the key. You don't need to pay for a course. That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, there's absolutely nothing else, to the point where it's been proven. So now that our good friend Emily has this entire huge following, now that she can leverage into an even better record deal. What a world to live.
Where she's just like, she's already established who she is
Yep.
on her social media.
Yep.
So the record label can't change that, or else they're not going to get what they want out of that deal, because they're not going to get the money from all that she's selling. Like, that's the best part. That is what I think. She's literally a mastermind. Like, she built her career. Now people have to basically pay her to be herself.
Right.
Like, that's what, it's so cool. And I wish, I am trying so hard. I'm terrible at posting. I used to hate posting, like when I was in high school and stuff like that. I barely ever post.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank God, by the time when I realized, like, I was like, oh crap, like, I'm going to be on The Voice. This is my one chance to snag in anyone who would potentially be interested in my music or my personality. And I was like, okay, I got to start posting once a day. I started with like 3 times a week, consistently, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then like maybe like this, before my episode was going to air, which they usually air like Mondays or Tuesdays, like I would add like an extra post. But then I started like, I was like, oh wow, like this is great. And people like the videos of me like sitting in my car talking. Instead of the ones where I'm spending, like, I'm up on a stage and there's like, of course, the voice videos are totally different, but like a performance video, they're not up close and personal. Like they don't like it as much, unless it's like insanely good. But like I was so nervous going into the finale because my blind audition got montaged, which is like when they totally shorten everything. So like they got none of my story.
So what aired on TV? I see. It was, and like
the blind audition is like the only, like, that's the biggest way that you get followers. Because like, I'm going to be honest, when I watch the show, I probably only watch the blinds. And that's what's popular on social media, because like, oh, that's The Voice. Did they get a turn?
The auditions,
I was devastated. And I literally like, of course, I was so unbelievably stressed about the show and school. This was like my first week back doing both. And I cried like all day, all day. And I was so stressed out. I was like, what? I knew I was a finalist at the time. So I was like, why would I get montaged?
Right. If
so
you were
upset, I was like, now I have no chance in the finale.
And they knew you were a finalist. So why did they edit it that way?
I was like, oh my gosh. Like, but it did. One of my very best and first friends on the show, his name is Trevor Hewitt, one of the most talented and most genuine people I ever knew. He did not get a chair turn. They aired his whole audition. So I was like, okay. And we were on the same episode. I was like, if Trevor gets shown and his didn't get montaged and mine did, I'm very happy. I'm happy with that. But so I was terrified, and I was like, well, I came back to school and I started setting what's it called? Meetings with my teachers. I was like, I need help. I don't know what to do. I know I need to release a song when I get off the show. Like I know I need to do XYZ. I don't know how to do it. And I don't know how to get to that point. And so I sat down with one of my teachers, and she was like, don't stress. She's like, I'm going to help you out. And she sat me down and she like talked to me about social media. She talked to me about like, oh my gosh, what's it called? So sorry. Networking. There we go. And I love networking. If you can't tell, I'm a talker, but like how to network on social media. With like messaging people. Who cares if they don't respond? You know what I mean? Like if they don't respond, they probably just didn't see it.
And then you just message them again, like I did with you to get you on this podcast.
Yes, exactly. Well, because most of the time, this is the most annoying thing. All of my stuff either goes into my message requests or my hidden message requests. And I've got a couple creepers on my page, so I usually don't go to the hidden requests because I'm like,
Oh, the dirty side of being on television. I can't imagine the DMs.
Yeah, they
Oh,
honestly, not a lot of. I've gotten pretty lucky. I think like
okay.
I've only gotten a couple of ones where I was like,
Okay.
um, but like I don't know. And so I was so scared, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, I gotta amp up my social media.
Yep.
And then by the literal grace of God, right before the finale, 2 of my videos I posted a video of my family surprising me at Thanksgiving by wearing t-shirts with me on it.
Nice.
With like Aubrey Nicole the voice, like
Yep.
Team Reba. That was my first video that reached over, like just my own video. The
Yep.
voice video is different. That reached over like 100,000 views. And
Wow.
then I was going to go visit Sacred Heart, my home church. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Like, why don't I record a video of me singing in there? Like, it's the first place where I really sang.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not like an actual public performance, but like in the choir when I was little. And I don't know, I just want to spend some time in the place where like I realized like my gift from God was singing before I went on the finale. And I went before anyone knew I was on the finale yet. Like the playoffs episode hadn't aired. So I was like, I'm just going to go. Of course, I asked for permission. I was like, hey, can I sing a hymn in the church and record it? And they were like, duh. Of course you can.
Right.
But I that video on Instagram almost has like 1 million views, and I was reached out by like Sirius XM's Catholic channel to come and talk with them. Like it's immediately I posted it right before the finale. In my following, of course, my knockouts video, my knockouts performance of the Martina McBride "I'm Gonna Love You Through It," that went crazy viral too.
Yep.
But like it wasn't on my page, so like I think I probably went from 1,000 followers to at least like 10,000 in that time.
Yep.
But that video that went viral, or I want to play. No, I was still like, there wasn't a K yet.
Okay.
Before I posted these 2 other videos before the finale. So after that, like those 2 videos took off, and then I was in the finale, so that just built things even more. And then I released my song. Yeah. So it just, thank God, things came together at the end, because I was so scared, because this could have been have been my only opportunity to ever do something like this. So I need to make use of every.
I would have been livid if I if I had gotten to that point and knew the whole ending of the show and where I was and the rankings and everything. And then I'm telling my friends and family, we got to watch the show. I'm auditioning. And then I'm just like a 3 to 30 second like clip because they put 5. I would have punched a wall. I was really upset. I would have been on the phone with Snoop Dogg, like, bitch, you got to fix this. Let's go. Come on. Like
I was devastated when I first found out. And also like watching it too, or before I watched it, I was like, gosh, like I think my package was like 3 minutes. I don't remember how long it was, but still it was pretty short.
Yeah.
They did it perfectly.
Good.
Like I was so scared. I was like, they're not going to know a bit about my personality. They're barely going to hear me sing. The producers on The Voice do God's work.
Good.
They included like the cutest stuff for my interview.